Hey guys, Magnus here, and I'm just sick of this, okay? None of you know your ABC, so this is the last time I'm attempting this, alright? And if you don't know it after this, then you're on your own, okay? Because I'm done. I'm done with this, alright? This is the last video in the A to Z Simpsons Tapped Out series. It's just a fun way of just looking at some of the different content. Today we're going to be doing events. Now, I wanted to stick primarily to major events, and so I've prioritized major events over mini and minor events. However, of course, I'm not able to do all of the events, so after major events, then I do mini updates, and if there's no mini updates, then I'll do minor updates, and if there is no minor updates that fit that letter, then I'll get creative, alright? So that's what we're doing. So let's get into number one, to A. So A is for Abe's in Toyland. That's Abe's in Toyland. So of course this was the Winter 19 event. This of course added a lot of cool content, like we got Orville Simpson and Edwina, we got Abby, we got old Tut, you know, a lot of old Simpsons. It was primarily based around Abe and kind of flashback episodes, and also things relating to his like extended family. Yeah, I like this event a lot. I definitely think it was a pretty cool event for the most part, and no complaints really. Let's move on. Well, it wasn't like the best event, but you know, it wasn't a bad event by any means. Moving on. B is for Burns Casino. That's Burns Casino. So of course, Burns Casino was an event that was added during 2016, and of course it is based around casinos really. It was an update that added quite a few characters. We obviously got the Vegas wives, we got Arthur and Gabbo, we got Lucia's Suite, we got characters like that, and then we got buildings like Burns' Casino and various different casinos from various different, you know, episodes. Yeah, I love this event a lot. The mini games were also a massive highlight of this. They were an awesome feature for sure, and this event, it's definitely in my top 10 for sure. I really enjoyed and thoroughly enjoyed this event. It was a great update for sure. So yeah, that is B, Burns Casino. B is for Burns. C is for Christmas 2013. So that's Christmas. So obviously I couldn't not have a Christmas update be the letter C, because that would be what's the word? Blasphemous. But what's kind of funny is I think 2013 was the last year or it might have been 2013 or 2014 was the last year that it was actually called Christmas, because they obviously renamed it to be a bit more secular, and they just called it winter 20 whatever. So I thought I'd be fair, and I'm not just going to put the best Christmas update for the letter C. I was actually going to put an update that was actually called Christmas, and that was 2013. So in Christmas 2013, we got characters such as Mr. Costington, the Yes Guy, the Snow Monster, the Christmas Raccoon, the Grumple, like some awesome characters, Plow King for Barney, Candy Kevin, Santa Flanders, which was a really awesome costume. Got great buildings as well, not as many as I would have hoped for, but still a lot of cool ones, such as the Costingtons, the Eggnog Bar, Claus Co, which was a pretty cool one, the Happy Little Elves ride, which I liked, and at the time you could add in Krustyland, so that was cool. The Springfield skating rink and the Springfield Mall, so some great buildings, lots of cool decorations as well that were added, a lot of different ones that we often see returning in the current years, so things like, I don't know, because the wikis were not updated as well back then, but we got things like the festive trash can fire, the festive nutcracker, the candy cane, the lamppost festive, so yeah, definitely some really cool decorations. This update was pretty good for what it did. I think a big thing as well was was there a community prize in this one? I don't exactly remember, but I seem to remember there being a community prize. Maybe I'm wrong. No, I think it was just personal prizes. Oh no, there was a community prize. Yeah, so the community prizes was an extra thing. So you got the Christmas totems, Santa's Workshop, Ebenezer Burns, the Yes Guy, and the Candy Cooling Towers, which was a facade for the cooling towers. So yeah, honestly, a really good update. I liked it a lot. Moving on. D is for Destination Springfield. That's D for Destination. So of course, you all know what Destination Springfield is. It's possibly my most favorite update. I don't know. I always feel like I like to distinguish between favorite and best. Now, when I looked at the tapped out, Battle of the Best Events, spoiler alert, Destination Springfield won. Now, I don't know if I would say it's my favorite definitive event, but at the same time, I still think it's in my top 3. I feel confident enough that I'd say it's in my top 3. Of course, this event was added in 2017, and it added such things as, Caesar and Oblivion. We have the Oscar Seafood Concern Squid, Mr. Sparkle, Tiago and Ronaldo, and Norbert Van Houten. So yeah, this was a really exciting update, and of course it added lots of awesome buildings. The Springfield Airport for a start. The Eiffel Tower was very cool. Chateau Marchand, Le Krusty Burger, the KTV building, America Town, the Royal Tokyo Hotel, the Chocolate Chapel. So many cool, awesome buildings added in this one for sure. Love this one a lot. I love the fact that you could build your own airport. I love the themes that they kind of had. They had distinct, 3 acts, and it was very simple because it was just 3 different locations. But I really liked how they split it up, and I really enjoyed the fact that Norbert Van Houten was kind of wrapped it all in a bow. And so for that reason, Destination Springfield is one of my favorites, and that's D for Destination Springfield. E is for Easter 2014. That's E for Easter. Now, I'm not going to lie, this is not an update I'm particularly fond of whatsoever. In fact, I think this update was potentially one of the worst updates that we've ever got in the game. Mainly because of the insane way that you could unlock the insane way that you had to unlock characters. So basically, they had these little boxes, and the top box was the golden box, and everyone wanted the golden box, right? No one wanted the crappy prizes. Everyone wanted the golden box, but to unlock the golden box, you needed to actually unlock a ticket for the golden box in another box, or you could buy it for donuts. And the issue is I remember, I'll be brutally honest with you, I used a hack for this, okay? Because I really wanted everything out of the gold box, and I had already spent £10. I felt like I was owed it, right? I spent a tenner expecting to get everything, and then I ended up just getting repeat prizes. And the issue with the gold box is it repeated decorations that you could get, cool decorations and all, but when you get them 50 times, it gets annoying. And I remember it took me an hour and a half using hacks to get Sherry Bobbins. It was ridiculous. That was the one character I just could not get. It did add some cool stuff. Obviously, we got Father Sean, Sherry Bobbins, Crazy Cat Lady, Mojo the Helper Monkey, Chirpy, and Bart Jr. But like I said, a lot of these prizes were they were stuck underneath this golden box. So I don't even know if I want to give points to these characters. That's how bad I found this update. But anyway, that is BE for Easter 2014. F is for the Flanders Family Reunion. That's F for Flanders. So the Flanders Family Reunion was a update released in, what year was it? I'll find out in a sec. But it was an update basically based around Flanders Family Reunion. It was based around the episode where, of course, his family all show up in the garden, but it was also kind of loosely based on the Humbleton episode, and also sort of based on some other appearances. It was kind of a nice splice of classic era stuff with a few postmodern era stuff, and I think one modern era thing as well, because we obviously got Canadian Flanders, or I think it was a modern character. Yeah, a great update for sure. Cool buildings like Lefmazen, Humbletown. It was a mini update. Didn't have any major updates with F unless I was misled and I've messed up here. And so please tell me if I have. But yeah, a good update. That's F for Flanders Family Reunion. G is for Game of Games. That's G for Game of Games. So Game of Games was an update, of course, added in 2019. And it actually came before the Flanders Family Reunion. So Flanders Family Reunion was 2019, by the way. Now, Game of Games was an update based around video games that have appeared in The Simpsons. The splash screen, though, really gives another impression. I always found this splash screen to be one of the weirdest splash screens, because it doesn't really depict anything that's going on, to be honest. This feels like a horror. You've got all these, mutant hands coming up, and Lisa's in a wizard thing, and Homer looks like he's in, I always found this splash screen weird as hell. This was, one of the oddest splash screens they ever had. But anyway, it added characters such as the Detonator, Dash Dingo, Report Card, Mr. Dirt, who is from the Simpsons game, which was very cool to get, Grief Counselor, Stick Up Walrus, and Blocko Angelica Button. It added really cool costumes as well for Bart, Nelson, and Krusty, and the buildings were a bit minuscule. We got the E4 Convention Center, Blockoland, Maple HQ, the Happy Little Elves Farm, and the COE Championship Arena. Yeah, not a fan of this one, to be honest. It wasn't an update I particularly cared that much for. I think it was, I don't know, I'm like torn between whether I say this is better than Game of Games the sequel, because at least Game of Games the sequel added more cool characters, but then at the same time they were kind of behind a premium wall, so I don't know. But yeah, I wasn't a fan of this update for sure. H is for Homer Palooza. That's H for Homer Palooza. That's one word, by the way, okay? So you need to make sure you know that word. So the Homer Palooza update was, of course, first added in, I don't know which year. I've already forgot. Probably added in 1 year anyway. But the Homer Palooza update was, of course, the music update, which you could broadly call it. So basically, what you did in this update is you unlocked cool music stuff. It was based around 3 genres of music, of course, rap, pop, and rock, I believe. And yeah, it added characters like, of course, Bleeding Gums Murphy, Rachel Jordan, Alcatraz, Leon Kapowski, all the Sunglazers guys, LT Smash, Alaska, Nebraska, and of course, Weird Al Yankovic kind of loosely led the event. I much preferred Norbert's involvement in the event to Weird Al's, but at least I did appreciate Weird Al's involvement. Added some great buildings as well. This was a real fun update. Of course, it was first added in 2017. Yeah, just such a great update. Enjoyed this one a lot. So that's H for Homer Palooza. I is for Itchy and Scratchy Land. That's I for Itchy and Scratchy Land. So this update was quite significant for the fact that it came along and it destroyed our Krustyland. But rather, it brought our Krustyland to our main town. I think this was a cool move. At the time, I was a little iffy on it, but to be honest, now in retrospect, I generally think this was the best move they could have made, because at the end of the day, they had 2 choices. They could either do this, demolish it, bring it to your town, or they could keep updating it, right? But there wasn't enough content to keep updating Krustyland. So I think it was the best decision just to scrap it and bring it to your town. It's not like they got rid of it entirely, but yeah, I don't know. I was fine with it. I think it was a good decision. So of course, the Itchy and Scratchy Land added such characters as Itchy, Scratchy, Diane, Bort, Corporal Punishment, the Park Engineer, Jeremy, Mrs. Mouse, June Bellamy, Tina Ballerina, and Mars Buckler in the Super Premium. Added great buildings, all from the Itchy and Scratchy Land episodes. So, of course, you had the Nurse Station, the Childcare Centre, TGI McScratchies, Roger Meyer's Story, the Soaring Over Springfield, Itchy Minefield, and some others as well. Some other buildings sprinkled out throughout that. Great decorations as well. There was a few rides that you could have built, like the Zoominator, the Injury 500, and the log ride, the log loop thing. So there was actually some building going on here where you could design your own rides, which I actually really liked that aspect as well. It was cool. I mean, I'm not like a massive fan of it, but I think for the time at least it was definitely a really cool feature. Yeah, overall this update was very good. It was, of course, first added in 2018, and yeah, lots of good things for things to say about this one. J is for July the 4th, 2014. That's July the 4th, 2014. So I wanted to have a July the 4th update on here, but the issue with July the 4th updates is they're mostly minor updates. They tend to be. Now, we have had a few major ones that you could loosely say are July the 4th, but they're never called directly July the 4th, so I had to go with 2014. The reason why I went with 2014 is personally I thought this one was the best one from like the ones that are actually called July the 4th. So this one, of course, added George Washington as a premium character, but it also added Giuseppe's Workshop as a free character. So different to the one that came before it, which was the 2013 one that just gave us Lincoln as premium and only Lincoln as premium. This one gave us 2 characters. It gave us George Washington with the cherry tree, and you can have Giuseppe's Workshop with Giuseppe. yeah, for the most part, I think this was great. We obviously had the Lincoln Memorial that was added as well, which is very cool to get. The American flag was, I think that was re-added, but I'm not sure. The fireworks barge, which was added, and we got a few more different fireworks this year as well. Yeah, overall, I really enjoyed this one. I think this was a very good July the 4th. I really wish they kept up with July the 4th. It's kind of annoying that they basically didn't have one last year. They didn't have one the year before as well, but you could loosely say that Aaron Burr kind of counted, although he was added in the Christmas update. You could kind of be like, at least we got a president, even if it's a vice president. At least we got a sort of president in that year. But 2020, and I hope, and it's looking like 2021, we're not getting any presidents, and yeah, it's a bit annoying. So I long for the days where we had a president every year, and this one was definitely a cool one, and that's July the 4th, 2014. That's J for July. K is for Krustyland. So, because we talked about Itchy and Scratchy Land, I thought I'd talk briefly about Krustyland, because although it's an update that kind of now doesn't matter because they sort of removed it, it does also sort of matter because we still got the Krustyland questline that you can still have in the game. So if you've never played Tapped Out before and you make a new town and you play now, you still play the Krustyland gameplay. The only difference is you don't go to another. The only difference is you just don't go to like another town, right? Or another area. It's just in your town, your main town. And that's the only difference, really. So I think it's still worthwhile to talk about it. So, of course, it was an update that was first added in 2013. Originally, you had a separate town where you could place all your different rides. There was so much rides. You could add the Death Drop, the Radioactive Man, the Rod, Sleep in Itchy's Castle, Wet and Smoky's Stunt Show, Viking Boat Ride, the Tooth Chipper, the Food Needle, Mount Crustmore, Krustyland Burger, Krustyland Hotel, the Gift Shop, and so many more. Of course, they had the currency, a new currency that was in the town originally, and this has translated back over to the game since Itchy and Scratchyland, and that is Krustyland tickets. You earn them, and that's how you can buy the different buildings and different things. Originally, only few characters would be able to go over there, but now obviously any character can go to Krustyland, although only select characters actually have tasks in Krustyland. The only issue I had with this update, like retrospectively looking at it, is they didn't really give us many characters. The only characters we got were, of course, the Itchy mascot, the Scratchy mascot, and the Poochie mascot, and they were just characters, NPCs basically. They were just NPCs that walked around your Krustyland. And so my only sort of complaint really is it would have been cool to get some characters in this as well. But it was a very, very awesome expansion update. It was kind of wild when they first released it. I remember just being like completely starstruck, like what why are they adding this? This is crazy. And it's a shame that it is. It's kind of a shame that it's gone now, that at least away from, the separate part on the map. But at the same time, I think bringing it in the game, in the main town, was a good idea. So I enjoyed it. So that's K for Krustyland. L is for Love and War. That's L for Love and War. So this is, of course, a 2021 update. This was very recent. Now, the Love and War update, of course, is, you could loosely say it's a Valentine's Day update. No, I think saying it's a Valentine's Day update is pretty fair. It's a Valentine's Day update that, of course, mainly focuses around the Harpooned Heart, which was Marge's book. But it also pulls in things from the most recent Artie Sif episode and things like that as well. So it's not just struck to one. It's not, it's not bounded by one episode. It kind of takes from other episodes, but it's mainly based around the Harpoon Heart, at least the first kind of 2 acts of it. So it added characters such as Temperance, Cyrus Manley, Esme Delacroix, Marge Ziff, Captain Mordecai, Robot Marge, Titania, and Libido. Of course, it added some really nice buildings. I will say this one had some cool buildings, like Temperance House, I really like. The Downward Doghouse Yoga Studio is quite nice as well. The books and additional books I really like the look of. The Ziff Bouvier Mansion is really cool too. Captain Mordecai's boat is, that one's a bit meh, but Ziff Wedding Home's nice, and Knockers is a really cool building too. And some cool decorations as well, like the Love Tester. I was really happy they gave us the Love Tester. But honestly, overall, this update's like, I think it's better than Springfield Enlightened, right? But I think this is definitely one of the weaker updates of this current year. So take that what you will. I definitely think there's good things in this update though. But that's L for Love and War. M is for Monorail, the Monorail update. So the Monorail update, of course, was something similar to, I count this as an expansion update, although it didn't expand our town, it expanded like an aspect of the town, and that's the monorail. So although like, yeah, it doesn't actually like add in a new part of our town, I still kind of, you know, loosely count it as an expansion update because it did give us something that has kind of become permanent in our town, and that's the monorail. So of course the monorail update first was released in 2015, and it came to give us the monorail, really. Now, it added characters such as Ray Patterson, Jesse Grass, the Hippie, and Sebastian Cobb, and as well as being based on Marge versus the Monorail, it was also based on Trash of Titans. I don't really like the combination, to be honest. I think it doesn't work as well for me, but at the very least, at least they kind of made it bigger than it could have been. I don't know. I still think they should have stuck with just monorail, to be honest, even if that means we don't get as much complexity in the update. But of course, in order to unlock monorail track pieces, you have to go to the dump, and then you have to then go to like the metal depot and the plastic depot and the glass depot, and you have to like basically convert those things, hand in those trash, and create monorail tracks. It's a real annoying process. I really wish they kept it simple. It did add really cool stations like the Monorail station, the Krustyland drive-through station, the Tetanus terminal, and the Monorail station. Those were very cool to get. I'm very glad that they gave us more than one as well, obviously. There's other cool buildings like the recycling centre, the rail yard, Little Lisa's recycling plant, which was kind of cool. The Monorail cafe and the self-reliant house was cool, I guess. Yeah, and obviously we added different tracks and different stations and different parts of your station and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a very complex update, but it's become something permanent in the town. If it wasn't permanent, I'd be very pissed off. So I'm glad that they did make it permanent for at the very least, so everyone can experience the monorail update. If they don't, they won't necessarily be allowed to unlock everything that was on offer originally, but for the very least, they can get the stations and they can unlock their monorail. So that is M for monorail. N is for Not Yet Spring Cleaning. So this is an update that I actually, again, another update I'm very fond of. Now, this is like a mismatch of so many different things. It wasn't really an update. It was the first update I felt that wasn't like actually based on one episode. This was kind of just an original idea, and that's what I really loved about this update. Of course, it added characters like Alice Glick, which was definitely a character that we needed in the game for a while, so I was very glad that they added her, and Lewis Clark, who was another character that they needed to add, and they added him, so yeah. This update also has some very cool buildings. We obviously got Mrs. Glick's house, which is a very nice house. The Springfield University, which was kind of cool to get. The original Brown House, which is a tapped-out original building, but I actually really liked the story that they went through with this whole like Brown House debacle. I think that was kind of cool. The Box Factory was added as well. I like the Box Factory a lot. It was a building I wanted for a while. And the Golden Goose Realty was added in this one as well, which of course has become a major staple, a major building that most players would want in the game because obviously it generates land tokens. Yeah, it was a great update. Loved it a lot. The story was unique and quirky. Alice Glick and Lewis Clark were two very cool characters. I actually generally think that this mini update, in retrospect, I've just got more love for it now. I actually think this was so great. So yeah, great update. Not Yet Spring Cleaning, and that's N. O is for Oktoberfest. So Oktoberfest was just a minor kind of update that was thrown in there. I really do wish they did a sort of more major Oktoberfest update. I think there is enough there, even if you just kind of base it around booze and stuff. But the issue with Oktoberfest is it falls in a really awful spot because Oktoberfest is during October, which is when we get Halloween. So it kind of, and Thanksgiving obviously after that. So you can't really... The only thing you could do is have the Oktoberfest come before Halloween, but then it won't be... Halloween tends to start like in mid-October, so I don't know. It's real tricky to do. But obviously, the Oktoberfest thing was first added. The promo was first added in 2015. It pretty much just gave you Beer and Wiggum and a bunch of returning content. Oh no, there was some other stuff as well. So, there was a few deals, but it was all returning stuff. Yeah, I only added one thing. Again, I really wish they did something a bit more major with it, but there you have it. That's O for Oktoberfest. P is for Pride 2017. So I went with Pride 2017 just because I like the buildings a lot in this one. It was difficult to kind of pick which one to showcase. I had to only pick one, but I've gone with 2017 because I do really like the update of this one, and I think, like I said, it adds some really cool buildings, also some really cool characters, because we get both Grady and Julio, which are two kind of major queer characters around Springfield. Roller Skate Smithers was a cool costume as well, but like I said, the buildings are the big thing here for me. So we got Amistad Mopeds, the Village Apartments, One Night Stands, the League of Extra Horny Gentlemen, Stonewall Bakery, and the Hairy Shearers. So for me, that's where they kind of they're there for me. Like I feel like that's where this update is for me personally, is in the buildings. Also some very cool decorations at the Pride Crosswalk, which of course was just permanently added to the store, and then you could make it kind of like with the rainbow flag, but I don't think you can now, which is a bit sad. But they've at least added the crosswalk permanently to the game, which was cool. The rainbow balloons were very awesome too, and the hydrants, the different coloured hydrants as well, were awesome. So yeah, I really enjoyed this update. I think it was very cool actually. So yeah, I give this one mad props. Q is for the Queen Helvetica promo. So the Queen Helvetica promo, of course, was a promo to add the Queen Helvetica costume for Lisa. So of course it was added in 2015. I believe this one came before. Did this one come before Clash of Clans? I'm not sure. But yeah, it first was added in 2015, and it gave us both Queen Helvetica, it's a costume for Lisa, with the Castle of Aqualia for 175 donuts, and as an NPC they threw in the Tuna Corn for 70 donuts. The one complaint I have about this is everything's donuts, obviously. I don't like it when they do that. This is why I much preferred like how they did the July the 4th one, because they have something in there for the free players and there's something for the premium players as well. I think that's just a much better approach to going about these minor updates. Not like it matters now, because they never do minor updates like this anymore. They tend to just throw in a promo to an update, or we have something like Black Friday thrown in, or rarely we'll have something like the 200th update or the Season 33 prize track. But yeah, this one, it's a fine costume, it's a fine building, it's a cool NPC, but I really am it's so odd they never added Juliet Hobbs. They still haven't added her. It's really weird. I always find that very odd. But that's Q anyway for Queen Helvetica. R is for the Rise of Robots. So of course this is a 2020 update. It's a very recent one. You guys all know about it. You guys probably all experienced it. It was an update based around, well, robots. It added such characters as Frank Jr., Bestius Muncho, Carnage Destructus, Lovebot, Cyborg Willy, Brenda, you know the deal, and Chief Knocker Homer as well. Very, very cool buildings in this one. The Prodigy Barn was quite nice. The Robot Rumble Studio I liked a lot. It was a really nice building. The Thai Food Factory I actually really liked, to be fair. And the others I'm a little effy on, like Springfield Robotics Laboratory is fine, but it's a bit bland. Emma shouldn't be a building. Robot Rumble Arena shouldn't be a building. And Mr. Sparkle Factory, I don't mind it now a little bit after time's passed, but I do find the building very bland. It feels like it's missing detail. But it did add some very, very awesome decorations. The Award Show Bot, Smashiest Clay, Flanders Car Posse Bot, the Simpsons Car Posse Bot, and all the other different robots that it added. Added some very, very cool ones for sure. Yeah, great update. Really enjoyed this one. Definitely was one of the best ones of this year for sure. If not the best, we'll have to see. You'll have to wait for my top 10 list, or my ranked list. But yeah, a great update. That's R for Rise of Robots. S is for superheroes. So this for me is probably what I would say is my favorite update ever. Mainly because this one is the update that I got the most enjoyment out. I'm nostalgic for this update a lot. What I loved about this is the amount of care they put into this one, right? Of course, it was first added in 2015. And oh god, so I need like, so first off, the music, they changed the music to this kind of superhero theme, which I really enjoyed. They changed all the text to like Comic Sans, which I thought was a nice touch. Even this splash screen looks like a comic book, which was really cool. They sort of added like new cutscenes with like Radioactive Man and Fallout Boy, which was very awesome. They took a lot of care into this update for sure, and I honestly just loved it so much. We obviously got characters such as Fallout Boy obviously, Plopper, Petroleus Rex, Dr. Colossus, the Collider, and of course Radioactive Man, who unlock right at the end of the update because he's kind of been defeated. But then there's really cool costumes like Pie Man, Clownface, the Collector, and Bartman. Awesome buildings as well. Too many to go through, but there was so many cool buildings, so many cool decorations. This update for me is just one of the most superior updates for sure. So much care was put into this one, so much love. It made it such an enjoyable update, so I gotta give it mad props. And that's S for superheroes. T is for Treehouse of Horror XXXI. I don't know, I actually generally don't like, I honestly don't like most Treehouse of Horror updates. Maybe it's just not for me. Something about them, yeah, I'm just not massively into them. But I was thinking like, oh, which update should I do? And I thought, oh, why not do the Hell update? I actually did enjoy the Hell update for the most part. So I thought, why not use this to kind of showcase, maybe not a less obvious Halloween event. So this one, of course, it added lots of cool stuff. It was based around Hell, which I thought was a very, very solid theme. The only other update which I would say had a better theme or on par theme, or at least on par in terms of how it stuck to a theme, was the Magic update that we got. That one obviously did stick pretty well to the theme too. But we got characters like the Hell Teacher, the Hell Principals, Old Scratch, the Torture Coach, Demon Mo, and the Demon Technician. Some really awesome Hell buildings. We got the Hell's Kitchen, Hell Labs, the Murder House, which was very cool to get, Hell Stage, Old Scratch's Gym, and Hell Mo's. And lots of awesome decorations as well, some of which I'm not, I say awesome, some of which I'm not like massive fan of, like the Cursed Desk for me, like, I don't know, I'm not like a massive fan of that, but it's got a cool animation at the very least. But yeah, this update I liked a lot. I like the theme, I like getting Old Scratch, I liked how Old Scratch kind of led it, so yeah, I thought I'd give it some highlight. Of course, this was 2020, so last year's Halloween, not this year's, and yeah, very cool. U is for the user power-ups. So the user power-ups were, I don't know which year it was added, but they were added anyway. And this was a short promo, basically, that gave us the XP power-up thing. So for the first time we got that. And then, of course, it added it to your game with a little building, which you can place in your town. And then it also allows you to pay donuts to get XP boosts. And this kind of set a massive trend. It's a very important update, despite it being a very, very minor update. It's very important because it started this new trend of players XP grinding, right? Now, not to say that XP grinding didn't happen before, it did, but this one kind of amplified it because it allowed you to get double XP and, you know, of course, get double XP and then be able to get more donuts, of course. So, yeah, it was very important. It had some promos as well. Obviously, this one with the 10 days of XP, the premium character mystery box, premium building, 150 donuts and 250,000 cash. There was a small promo for $5.99, but the main thing it added was the XP Collider, and that's the one thing that we need to give credit to this update for. V is for the Van Houtens. So this was an update, of course, added in 2020. It basically added Milhouse Van Houten, Cook Medea's Van Houten, Grandpa Van Houten, Grandma Van Houten, Annika, all these different Van Houtens. Some really cool buildings. Well, actually, there wasn't very many buildings in this one. We got like Nana Sophie Mussolini's vineyard, the Van Houten Villa. There wasn't, I think that might have been it, right? There wasn't very many buildings added in this, but really some really cool decorations, like the different Milhouse birthday party things. I actually liked a lot of them. Yeah, this update was of course based entirely around Milhouse and his family, which I thought was a very solid idea for an update. I really do hope that they do this again in the future. I think basing an update around a family works really well, so yeah, I really hope they do that again. But that's V for the Van Houtens. W is for Winter 2015. So, like I said before, obviously Christmas was kind of renamed Winter. And the reason why I picked this one over any other winter update was, of course, because this one gave us Maggie. Alright, so this was the update that first gave us Maggie. Of course, it was first added in Winter 2015. And it gave us loads of cool characters, like we got Sophie Krustyland, what's her name? Sophia Krustyland, I forget her name. We got characters like that. We got characters like Patches and Poor Violet, the Dancing Reindeer, which is very cool to get. We got the Conies of a Sun. Obviously, Gerald was added in this one as well. And just like with superheroes, they actually had like unique, unique cutscenes that were added, which was very cool. Lots of awesome buildings as well. Again, too many to add. it was such a awesome update, and I really loved how they added Maggie in this update. It's kind of why I based my Christmas update idea on Gil, is because this update kind of took Maggie and they made her like meaningful. Like they made it adding her like an actual experience, and they had the different cutscenes, and they were awesome, and the kind of mystery with Rosa and how you can unlock her, and then of course this also added the Play-Doh Factory, which gave us the Maggie minigame where you can actually find Maggie and earn donuts. Again, so much care was put through this update. I generally think this is the best winter update by far, just for that reason. It kind of has to be elevated. Lots of awesome characters. Yeah, just pure love for this one. No hate at all. I've got no negative things to say about it. So that's W for Winter 2015. X, and this is where I had to be a bit creative, X is for Xmas 2012. So the reason why I wanted to put, it is actually just called Christmas 2012, it's not called Xmas, but again, I had to be creative because there was no updates called with letter X. But the reason why I went with this one over any other update is because this was the first update that I experienced. I came into Dapped Out in 2012, and of course I started playing during the Xmas 2012 event, and I loved the Xmas 2012 event. I thought it was really special. Of course, it added characters such as Barney. Barney was actually added during the Xmas 2012 event, although he was put into the store premium later. The Funzos we got. Santa's Little Helper, again, was first added in 2012. Sideshow Mel was first added in 2012 as well, Xmas 2012, and Santa Homer. We got buildings such as the Maple Store, Barney's Boilerama, the Try and Save, the Krusty Lou Studio, and the Santa's Workshop, as well as a bunch of different Christmas skins for the houses. Now, this update worked very, very differently to how every other works very differently to most other updates, because this update, of course, didn't really have a structure or a prize track. It just gave you Santa coins, and you could buy whatever you liked with the Santa coins. So if you wanted to go for the top prize, which was like Barney and the Boilerama, or the Try and Save was actually quite expensive. Which was the top prize? I think Santa's Little Helper might be. Yeah, the top prize was Santa's Little Helper for 1,500. So if you wanted to go for the top prize, which was Santa's Little Helper, that's cool. You earn up, you have to save up 1,500 coins and then you buy it. But if you just want to go from like the bottom prize up, then you just go and buy the Maple Store first, and then you get the Barney's Boilerama, then the Try and Save. There was a lot of freedom in this update, and I really missed that aspect. I kind of wish they would do that again. So that's X for Xmas 2012. Y is for the yard sale 2014. So that's Y for yard sale. So the yard sale 2014 update was just kind of they used to do these yard sale updates quite often, or they would have like similar things where they would just basically return a bunch of old content. They're kind of not needed anymore because we've got obviously mystery boxes now and Black Friday, and that's what's kind of replaced it, I'd say. But this one was different because it did actually add us some new content. The first of which was Mine Marge, which was added as a costume, so hence why I've showcased Mine Marge's unlock screen here. And of course they re-added the bundles with the different things. There was a bunch of returning stuff as well, returning buildings, returning costumes. There were some new decorations though. The Mr. Sparkle billboard was added, I think. Was that returning decoration though? Oh no, yeah, no, that was returning. Oh no, the only new thing we got was literally just the Mine Marge. Yeah, it was of course added in 2014, and of course it was added around July time. That's when they tended to do them. They have had a few other ones in the past as well. I just went with this one because it actually gave us a costume instead of just a bunch of new decorations or just returning content. So that's Y for Yard Sale 2014. And S is for Zoo update, okay? And I know it's called Mozart, but I had to be creative. There was no Zs. And I went with Zoo update. Actually, I think there was a Z, but I ended up just going with this over it and being creative for this. So the Mozart update, or the Zoo update, whatever you would like to call it, was first added during, oh god, what year was it? I always get my years. 2018. It was first added during 2018, and of course it was a Zoo update. This update, of course, added the Springfield Zoo, and you can obviously, you have all the different walls and you can build up your zoo. It added characters such as Larry Kidkill, Brittany Brockman, T-Rex, Teenage Homer, Aslan, Kitenge, Alison Taylor, Joan Bushwell, Knifey Spoony, Yo-Yo, and, most importantly, Sarah Wiggum. And it gave us really cool buildings such as the Canary and Birdhouse, the Slimu Auditorium, the Big Bug House, the Pink Birdie Yogurt, Atlantis, Jewish Heaven, African Tree. Actually, I think the Jewish Heaven was the other update. African Tree Resort, Taylor House, the Chimp Refuge, Simpsons House, and the Springfield Aquarium. Lots of awesome decorations. You guys probably are familiar somewhat with this one, even if you're newer players, because, of course, they re-added it during the most recent Treehouse of Horror. They added a lot of that zoo stuff back, which is very awesome too, although the walls they made premium, which is very annoying. But, yeah. Z for zoo update. So that is all the updates, A to Z. The only one that I was kind of annoyed that I couldn't improve was Whacking Day, but I had to go for Winter 2015 over Whacking Day, so... But yeah, that is the updates A to Z. So tell me your thoughts. Was there an update that you would have preferred? And tell me if you've learnt your A to Z. Let's go through them one last time. So A for Abe's and Toyland, B for Burns Casino, C for Christmas 2013, D for Destination Springfield, E for Easter 2014, F for Flanders Family Reunion, G for Gamer Games, H for Homer Palooza, I for Itchy and Scratchyland, J for July the 4th, 2014, K is for Krustyland, L is for Love and War, M is for Monorail, N is for Not Yet Spring Cleaning, O is for Oktoberfest, P is for Pride 2017, Q is for Queen Helvetica Promo, R is for Rise of Robots, S is for Superheroes, T is for Treehouse of Horror XXXI, U is for User Power-Ups, V is for Van Houten's, W is for Winter 2015, X is for Xmas 2012, Y is for Yard Sale 2014, and Z is for the Zoo Update, aka Moe's Ark. So that is the update. The A to Z. So that is it for my A to Z series. As you can see here, there's no more slides on the PowerPoint. So we have done everything that I wanted to do. Boom, 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 boom. That's going through all of it. Look at that. That was cool. So that is it for my A to Z series. I hope you've enjoyed it. It was an old series that I've just kind of pulled out of the archive and done a series on it. I don't know. I enjoyed this one quite a lot. So let me know your thoughts, and I shall see you in the next video. Goodbye.